the University of Kansas Health System, they understand that sometimes your busy schedule means that you just need a more convenient appointment time. That's why they now offer after-hours MRI testing appointments from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. 1 day a week. For more information or to schedule an appointment, call 620-791-6205. The medical care you need on a schedule that works for you at the University of Kansas Health System.
Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Sharp, top of the key, lost the dribble. He's got to pick it up. It's scooped up by Condon. Condon secures it, and Florida found a way from 12 down to the school's third national championship in men's basketball.
Richard and Martin, both really good defensively. Clayton made a great play on that, but that's why you got a shot fake and get in the paint. Two's fine.
Totally credit Florida's defense. In the last 5 minutes of this game, they really got good run last Houston did such a great job all night on Walter Clayton Jr., but you knew he was going to make some plays at the end of the game.
First pitch to Isbell, and he gets it high in the air, deep to right field. Waller turns around, watches it fly into the bullpen. A solo shot for Kyle Isbell. His first home run of the season. He extends the Royals' lead. It's 4-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning.
I mean, I was looking for a heater out over the plate, drive the ball the other way, and, that's what I try to do. I try to get on base and flip it over to the top of the lineup. Any way I can get on base to help them and help us win. Yeah, we just got to keep the energy going. The energy's good in the club.
Windup felt great again. Stretch didn't feel very good, but it's a long season, and we'll just keep working out of that stretch.
Our first day of practice, they were just like, let's just do some ground balls. I just went over to shortstop, and I'm watching these guys throw the ball around. I'm like, I am not supposed to be here.
I thought she did really well. The girl from Slime South was a state qualifier, state finalist in both events last year. She's just learning 3 steps, so it's kind of, we got unfair to her. We actually ran the short hurdles into the wind, which made me grouchy.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB, 95.5 FM. The talk of the town. Welcome in. It's a Tuesday show. Steve Webster with you from Mail Money Management Studios today. And we've got a good show for you, as we always do. Well, sometimes. On the program today, yes, Cole Reif's going to be in. We'll talk to him, see if he watched the national championship game last night. Landon, I know that you probably didn't watch the national championship game last night, so what alternate viewing options or activities are there when you're not going to partake in the NCAA men's national championship game?
We got horror movies, video games, and TV shows.
Okay, specifically, what was in the Winkler household last night?
We watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Okay, that's not a bad option. Executive producer Landon Winkler in the show, in the studios with me today. Anyway, we'll get an update on that. The voice of the Cardinals and the Cougars. We'll chat something about sports here today. It's a double softball day here on the program. We're going to talk Barton softball with Coach Carson DeBose, who will be in studio. And they will play the Lady Cougars, who are currently in second place in the Jayhawk Conference, run down those standings, and they got some help yesterday, so only one game out. And the Lady Cougars play at Dodge City tomorrow. And then the Great Bend Lady Panthers softball team heading to Liberal today to play the Lady Red, a single 7-inning game, traveling 3 hours to play 7 innings. We'll get an update possibly from the bus with Carrie as she heads down there. The Lady Panthers are 7-1 on the season. And we'll have all the headlines of the day and, of course, the sounds of the past 24 hours, which we will begin right now. Final frantic few seconds of last night's national championship game. Houston's Emmanuel Sharp got stopped in the middle of his motion as he tried going up for the game-winning 3 in the final seconds. Well, Walter Clayton Jr. coming, just closing out, and the Houston guard, dropped the ball. Unable to pick it up because he got called for traveling. He watched it bounce. Alex Condon dived on the ball, flipped it to Clayton. He ran the opposite end, and it is Florida who wins the national championship 65-63 over the Big 12's Houston Cougars. I was hoping that the Big 12 could get the national championship. That would have been pretty cool, especially after we had 32 teams from the SEC. Well, there's not that many, but in the NCAA tournament. And, yeah, they were the best conference in America by hands down, but would have been kind of nice and funny if they didn't win the national championship. Kelvin Sampson, whose attempt to win a national championship at Houston, the Cougars, I believe, now 0-7 in national championship games in school history. They're trying to get their first one last night, saying, well, maybe Sharp should have used a pump fake or something instead of deciding to just drop the ball. And Tim Welch, ESPN college basketball analyst, said Florida's defense rose up in the second half, and sometimes when you go against a team like another defensive team, like they were playing last night in Florida, that happens sometimes. But, wow, heck of a comeback last night. And Houston, who came back to beat Duke, well, they had it turned around on them last night as Florida comes back from 12 points down and wins the national championship. Congratulations to the Florida Gators. Major League Baseball last night, the call here on KVGB. Kyle Isbell's solo home run in the sixth inning helped the Royals beat the Twins 4-2. That was game one of a four-game series at Kauffman Stadium. Isbell went 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs. Vinny Pasquantino had an early bloop double down the left field line for the Royals. And Isbell was talking about his home run in the sixth inning. He was batting ninth in the lineup, said he's looking for a heater. He got one, knocked it out of the ballpark. Royals got a good performance from Michael Lorenzen last night. Not a pitcher that's going to overpower you with a lot of strikeouts. Pitches to contact. He did that last night. Went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Said he was having a little bit of trouble pitching from the stretch, from the stretch. And the windup was fine, but then you get guys on base, and he struggled with that a little bit, saying it's a long season. He'll be working on that. Carlos Estevez, well, if you like a guy that kind of makes you sit on the edge of your seat when he comes in the ninth inning, he got the save, gave up a 2-run RBI single to Harrison Bader, retired pinch hitter Eduardo Julian on a ground ball with 2 outs to end it. Game 2 of that series is tonight in Kansas City. We'll have it for you starting at 6 o'clock here on KVGB. Rockies had the night off. Cardinals ended up losing to the Pirates yesterday with a score of 8-4. And some other sounds of the past 24 hours, or even going back to last week a little bit. That's Tony Moore, the Fort Hays State Tigers, talking about he went to Fort Hays, thought he was going to pitch. Then he said, okay, we're going to put you in the middle infield, and talking about the first time he went up to take ground balls. He said he didn't even think he should be there. Well, that's kind of changed around a little bit, hasn't it? He's a key in the top half of that batting order for Hoisington. He went 3 for 3 against UC Colorado Springs on Saturday. Tigers split a doubleheader. And let's see. He also got a stolen base in Game 2. Tigers lost the second game 8-2, but he went 3 for 3 in the first game that Fort Hays State won. So with Sunday's effort, Tony Moore's hitting .384, 2 home runs, 21 runs scored, 21 RBIs to go along with 4 stolen bases for the Tigers, who are currently sitting atop the MIAA standings, ranked 22nd in the country. And they play a big doubleheader at Emporia State tomorrow. And Lyles Lashley on the program talking Great Bend Panther track and field, talking about the debut performance of freshman Michaela Minton, who ran in the 100 and 300-meter hurdles at a meet in Junction City last Friday. She finished second, and going into a stiff wind, which Lyles Lashley said he was a grouchy about. He thought they should have run it with the wind. Made it a little bit easier. She's kind of between steps, so she was alternating, going 4 steps, 3 steps. You want to 3-step those if you really want to turn in a good time, but pretty good start for a freshman in the 100 and 300-meter hurdles. So we talked track and field with Lyles Lashley on Monday. Panther varsity competing this weekend. They'll be at the pre-state showcase at Wichita State's Cessna Stadium. So there's your sounds of the past 24 hours. Let's take a look at the local baseball scene. Great Bend Panthers baseballers on the road yesterday at Dodge City. And another strong pitching performance. They end up blanking Dodge City by the score of 8-0. So the Panthers now are 6-1 overall. They're 2-1 in the Western Athletic Conference. Dodge City fell to 0-2, 4-4. Hayes topping the league right now. They're 2-0, 4-0. And then you have Liberal 1-1. They're 3-5 overall. Garden City's 1-2 and 2-5 overall. Games today in the WAC. Dodge City is at Garden City for a single game, and then Liberal playing a doubleheader at Goddard Eisenhower today. Great Bend, I thought they were going to be at home on Friday. I was mistaken. As Randy Beck told me, no, we're going to be headed to Liberal so they will go to Liberal on Friday. And that will be a doubleheader as the Great Bend Panthers will be back in action. Another couple road contests coming up on Friday. And then Hayes, who's been off all week, they will be at Garden City as the race for the Western Athletic Conference baseball crown continues. Lady Panthers softball, as I mentioned, they're headed to Liberal today, one single game. Hayes is at Dodge City in Western Athletic Conference action. And then Great Bend at home on Thursday. They'll host Liberal for 2 out at the Great Bend Sports Complex. Hayes is at home against Dodge City for 2 coming up on Thursday. Panthers top these standings right now. It's still early. They're 2-0. And then Dodge City is 0-2. And then you have Hayes, Garden City, and Liberal who have yet to play a conference game. Baseball out at Lawson Biggs Field today. Barton Community College, the Cougars will be at home. A couple of games against the McPherson JV. Barton currently tops the Jayhawk West at 16-4. They're 25-8 overall. And it's interesting, when Brent Biggs was in yesterday, and Cloud County's in second. Barton took 3 out of 4 from the T-Birds. They're one game back at 15-5. Colby is 10-6, and the Cougars swept Colby over the weekend. And then Butler, who Barton split with a couple of weeks ago, they're 12-8. So the next closest teams that Barton has behind them in the standings have already played. So that's a good sign. Yesterday in the conference, Seward County beating Butler 7-5 in the first game and 12-5 and then Butler bounced back to win the second game 12-5. Seward winning the first game 7-5, so that helped the Cougars out a little bit. Butler now 12-8 in conference, 20-15 overall. Hutchinson sitting there at 8-8 right now, 26-11. Then you have Dodge City 8-12, Garden City 5-11, Pratt 3-13, Seward 3-13, and Barton just has series against Hutchinson, Dodge City, Garden City, Pratt, and Seward, and they will start a 4-game series at Garden City on Thursday. So they get you caught up on what's going on in the Jayhawk West standings. Okay, there's your headlines for today. Of course, we'll have Carson DeBose coming in a little bit later, and we'll also check in with Carrie Minton. She heads to Liberal today for the Lady Panthers' single 7-inning game against Liberal. So that's all coming up. Cole Rife coming in next here on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Show also brought to you by the American Plains Co-op Bulk Fuel Department. They feature number 2 clear diesel, bulk fuel, E10, fuel delivery, all your lubricants and fuel supplies. Equity Bank, here when you need them. Bank local, save big with in-person banking and business banking. Find out more by going to equitybank.com. And C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange sign south of 10th and Harrison. It's Sports Day on a Tuesday on KVGB.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Great teachers start with a great education. At Barton Community College, our education programs give you the skills and experience to make a real impact in the classroom. Whether you're shaping young minds in early childhood education or leading the way in elementary or secondary education, Barton makes it easy to follow your passion. With affordable tuition, flexible courses, and real-world learning. Get started at education.bartonccc.edu because your classroom is waiting.
See Doors, this is Hadley.
Look, did you see the Easter Bunny?
Really? Where?
Just kidding, but I made you look.
Meemaw, what does this have to do with garage doors?
Well, nothing really, but people will be happy they came to C&E Doors. We offer the best garage doors around. Plus, our service technicians can help solve any issue your garage door may have.
What does Papa do?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Dr. Nels here with Animal Medical Center, and today we want to have a leadership moment and talk about leadership is not about production. It's not about the numbers. It's not about production. It's about reproduction, because great leaders reproduce themselves to make sure things can go on beyond them. Let's think about leadership. If you're in that position, we're all leaders, though. It's not about production. It's about reproduction. Dr. Nels here, Animal Medical Center, large or small. We take care of them all.
He's the voice of Pleasanton High School football, the Barton County Cougars, and the king of the tweeter machine. It's Cole Reif on Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB 95.5 FM. Cole Reif's in with us right now. Thank God you watched the basketball game last night. I was giving, since Landon decided to watch, Texas Chainsaw Massacres. That's what was on. That was what was on in his house.
He came in pretty late last night. I was at the city council meeting. He was probably a little bit spooked after watching that type of movie and then coming into a dark radio station.
That was going on in his house, but I kind of get binge watching this Tulsa King right now. So
okay, that's with Rambo or Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. So we got to. So maybe I'll ask Carson DeBose about that. She's from Owasso, which is just north of Tulsa. So I'll ask her if she knew that she was in an organized crime community.
The wife's been high on Landman. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, but I don't know. Have they come out with a new? How do you keep track of everything?
I don't know. I don't watch them. The last thing I watched religiously was Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
that was the last.
And I didn't see that for the first 6 years.
I take that back. Yellowstone. I did do Yellowstone for the first 3 or so years.
Okay, all right. That's the best way to do it. Is let it pass. Then you can just binge watch it night after night, because it's not like you have Green Acres and Hogan's Heroes on Tuesday night, and there's a conclusion to it, right? So you go into the next week and then you watch the show. Now everything that's streamed is like a series,
like a cliffhanger. You're talking about?
Well, yeah, but it's just like like Game of Thrones or Landman.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't keep track of all these story plots right now. It's
a tough problem to have.
It's just struggling right now.
All the streaming devices that are available.
Yes, indeed. So what do you think? You watched about the last 10 minutes of the game last night?
Yeah, I was going to boycott it after Saturday's results. I was very firm. I'm not watching that. I'm not, usually, like we said before, even if Duke loses in the first round, I don't watch the rest of the tournament, the whole tournament. And I wasn't going to watch it, but I went to the city council last night, and they got done before the game even started, but I came back here, wrote a story, checked my phone, and it was getting close in the final 2 minutes, so I was like, all right, so I flipped it on. And, it was a good final 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And, to be honest with you, this is going to sound bitter, but after what Houston did on Saturday to Duke, I have no problem with the way that game is. I have no problem.
I was going to ask you about that. You weren't rooting for the...
No, I was not rooting for Houston. Not that I have a problem with Houston. And, Samson, I think there are a lot of people around here that like Samson, and no problem with Samson or anything like that, but just purely bitter. Did not want to see them win. I'm not one of those guys there's some people out there that believe in the philosophy of, if they lose to a team, they want to see that team succeed and say, well, we lost to the national champion.
No.
Not at all. Especially after, you grind things out for 40 minutes and you have, you start to form, enemies after just watching them play for one game. You're like, I don't like that guy. So then you watch them the second time in the championship's like, oh, no.
Well, we talked last week, on this Duke team, how invested are you now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, of other very tough losses Duke has had, does that even rank up there when they lost that lead to Houston?
Well, yeah, it does. It's up there a lot. Because I've always had the fun conversation, not just Duke, but just in general in sports. Like, would you rather lose a blowout game where you just get your doors blown off and you're down, but you lose by 20 or 30, so you saw the writing on the wall, you can kind of brace yourself for the loss.
Or just shut it off, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But then on the other hand, you realize, man, we were never competitive, never in that game. Or would you rather lose a heartbreaker like at the buzzer in the final minutes, you know, and then you're like, well, we were in the game, we were competitive, but it stings maybe even more. I've come to the conclusion that the worst way to lose is not either one of those two. It's to choke. It's to have the game in hand and let it slip away, and that's what that was. I mean, hats off to Houston, but like at the same time, like Duke was up by 14 with 8 minutes. The fact that Houston cut it down to like 5 or 6 was not surprising to me. Like I was like, yeah, they're going to make some type of push at the end, so that wasn't surprising. But being up 5 or 6 with a little over a minute to go, and then losing it that way, they couldn't even get the ball in bounds. Well, this is one of the top teams I've ever seen.
Against Houston, I've seen that happen.
Yeah, you have. So, like, yeah, that was just the fact that there's been teams in the past that, you know, like, you feel like they overachieved. So, like, if they would have got to that point and lost, like, well, okay. But, like, that team is national championship caliber. Like, that team could have very easily have won a national championship. So, to lose in that fashion, that stung. Because, like, you don't get many of those teams.
So you weren't, there wasn't anything in you to know that, well, okay, I root for Duke. We've got a basket of national championships, and just to think Houston on the doorstep of getting their first one they've never been able to get.
No.
Okay.
Right. They got one in the 80s. They're fine.
They won one in the 80s?
Yeah, weren't they in there? Houston Slamma Jamma.
Yeah, they got that was a North Carolina game. The North Carolina State game.
No, they won one in there. They won it because Hakeem won one. Didn't he?
Well,
yeah. Because NC State beat Charles on the Charles buzzer beater. Yeah, from midcourt heave.
And that was by Slamma Jamma.
Yeah. I feel like Houston won before that. Well, anyway, I didn't feel sorry for him.
Okay, all right.
No.
Well, because now you would have felt sorry for him because now you know.
No, I mean, Duke's on a drought. It's been 11 years since the last national championship. It was 2015. I wasn't even married the last time that, you know, Duke won a national championship. So, yeah, KU was talking to me. I was like, well, at least you won one 3 years ago. Like that 2022 loss in the Final Four to North Carolina, and eventually KU beat North Carolina for the championship, that one stung. That one stung a lot just because there's North Carolina. This one is right up there with it, maybe even worse, because this team, I don't know.
I know you're not a big KU fan, but from my experience covering Great Bend City Council meetings, it was always good when KU was in the national championship game because it was like a 10-minute meeting so everybody could get out of there to get home and watch the stuff.
Doc Allison, big KU fan, that was really beneficial. He still has the record, at least in my tenure, of the shortest city council meeting, and it was on a championship Monday, and it was, I think, 7 or 9 minutes. It was 7 minutes. 7 minutes for the shortest city council meeting. It was like, hello, pledge allegiance, consent agenda approved, and then there's like one informational item, and we're out. Now, see what the problem is with Cody. I don't even know if he has a college team. I know he likes the Denver Broncos. So unless the city council meeting is like on a Sunday, or if the Broncos play on a Monday night, like outside of that, you don't really have a chance to get it out early. So that's the problem with Cody. He needs more sports teams to cheer for.
Oh, I had a good question before you went into Mayor Allison and those short meetings here. Oh, so it looks like we're going to finally have racing back at the drag strip, not this year, but next year.
Correct. That's the plan. I mean, that's good news. That's really good news. So, yeah, it's been 3 years. But, yeah, Logan was talking about it last night, and the fact that the demolition's going to start, so there's going to be a complete overhaul of whatever is existing out there, and then hopefully start that project up later on this summer, and then be complete by next February, and racing season next year.
Man, that's tough, man. You missed 3 seasons, though.
Yeah. The good news is it sounds like the NHRA hasn't lost faith in the site itself. I mean, obviously the history is going to speak for itself, but I think the NHRA is still very much wanting to build this back up. In fact, they're heavily involved in the process because they've kind of pooled together a committee of minds, if you will. NHRA is included in that table, on that table for discussion. So, yeah, that's the good news. So I think once they get it back going, it's going to be it's going to be even better, I think, than ever.
It's kind of weird. You run into people that you never knew were racers. Mm-hmm. And then they start talking about that. They're not very happy right now. So back to your, how you feel sorry for other fan bases and things like that. Did it break your heart that Cali got bounced out of the national tournament by 1 point by the team that went on to win it?
No, not really. I mean, I don't mind Cali. I mean, I just never, and I know there's plenty of Barton people that do, I've just never bought into the conference supportive system that everyone does. After Houston beat Duke, I saw all these KU fans and K-State fans and all these Big 12 fans, right? Oh, the Big 12, we were good and blah, blah, blah. And Kelvin Sampson even mentioned, the Big 12 coaches and stuff like that. I was like, shut up. Shut up. I've never bought into that. I'm going to cheer for a conference team. So it makes
you're not out there going
better.
ACC.
No, North Carolina getting in ticked me off. They didn't deserve to get in. That really made me mad.
They won their opening round game by 35 points.
Yeah, exactly. And they got drowned. They got pounded in the actual first round. So no, I've never been that. The only thing from the junior college standpoint of it, I do like the fact that when your Jayhawk, the Jayhawk or your conference does well, it does build, your reputation as far as maybe getting further looks in the future. So I think when the Jayhawk Conference does well, that bodes well for, a committee selection of, well, hey, Jayhawk teams, have done well historically at the national tournament, so let's maybe pull this team in. Now, that's not the only criteria, but that's got to be at least in the back of your mind.
Oh, absolutely.
I like that.
I think in June, when you really don't have, you're talking national, I think that should be a big part of having your conference. So that was good on the women's side this year because we've since what was it? 1 year we sent 3 teams. They all got blown out. But this year, Hutch won a game, I think, and Dodge won 2.
Yeah, Dodge made it to the Final Four. Which I think is 2 games because they had the bye in the first round, and man, they're close. They got down really bad early, and then made a comeback, sent it to overtime, and eventually lost by 1. And so they were really, really close. And Hutch was solid, just didn't have the same firepower that they did a year ago, but defensively they were really good. I will say, here's an interesting topic. There's going to be discussion, and they're going to have the NJCAA, I think it's the basketball committee, they're going to have discussion of possibly expanding the national tournaments in going forward. Now, the main conversation is 32 teams, so it'd go from 24 to 32. They're just discussing.
Right.
And then, but there is one committee member that was reported that would like to see it to go to 64 for junior college.
All in one site?
No, that would be, there's no discussion on what it would happen, but I would imagine it would go to kind of like Division II and regional sites. So you'd host 3, some place would have 3 games. And
I like that.
Maybe the Elite 8 or something like that would go to a Hutch. I would imagine Hutch would still be the core spots, and where the Final Four or the Elite 8, whatever they want to do would be at. But, if they go to 32 teams, they can still keep all of those games most likely at Hutch, so it's not a huge deal there. But there's going to be discussion.
I don't know if these schools can travel. They'd probably have to be regional sites, which...
If it was 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. If it's 64, there's going to be some regional sites. And like we said, but then there's the complaints you talk to Gerard, there's complaints, from MIAA, because then you're stacking in your same region teams in those first 8 games. You might have, 3 of the top 5 teams in the country all in the same region that only one gets to go to the Final Four or the Elite 8, whatever it may be. So there's pros and cons to all of it. You like to see the expansion and just more inclusion. I've heard discussion maybe you get into your, once you start your region tournament, so or maybe not everybody gets into your region tournament, maybe it's just a district and you take the top 8 teams and, simplifying that. So I don't know what I imagine the 64 is just some wild,
you don't want to make it like a double elimination tournament like it used to be?
So consolation games?
Yeah, there was...
No. Oh, wait, I like consolation when you can work your way back. So in
that's
baseball...
the way it was. You would go in and they'd be a consolation champion winner. It was games like starting at 9 o'clock every day.
But the best you could get in that situation would be like third place, right? Because you couldn't work your way back to, like in baseball, like double elimination, you can work your way back.
You couldn't.
It's not like that. Like even like, for Barton in some of those tournaments, like they can work their way back to the championship. You can't lose again, but you can work your way back on the backside to the championship and actually win it all. But
well, I don't think you can play 3 games in one day though to come back and do it though.
Yeah, that'd be an issue.
Throw that one out there. I like that. Make it a double elimination tournament.
I don't want to be calling games for 7th place. Now, I like it because Barton has a really good record at the national tournament because of that.
Yeah.
Because even the year they lost in the first round, when there's only 16 teams, they came back and I think they won 3 games after that. And
yeah.
So they have a really good record.
Well, them teams that come from like North Carolina all the way out there, and they play one game, then they turn around and get on that bus and go home the next day.
I felt bad for the Florida schools this year because there's 2 of them that were one and done.
You didn't feel bad for the Florida schools. No, okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Cole. Appreciate it. Cole Reif in with us. Talking about bitter feelings and things like that, but okay. Softball, Barton softball coming up next. Carson DeBose, I'll ask her about Tulsa King, see if she's into that. That's coming up next here on Sports Day.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend. Or check out the website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
If you're needing a healthcare plan for your business, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's need. Regardless if you're a large corporation or a small business on Main Street, Freedom Claims Management Incorporated can help you provide your employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. Visit freedomclaimsinc.com where you can schedule a free, no obligation health assessment today. Freedom Claims Management Incorporated in Great Bend.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys make it happen.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Reif, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
From the Mail Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
Here we go.
Covering your local teams.
And 1.
Covering your local teams and your local athletes. It's Sports Day on KVGB, presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Also brought to you in part today by the Animal Medical Center in Great Bend. Large or small, they take care of them all. And Freedom Claims Management, innovative healthcare plans for your business. Let them take care of everything for you from start to finish. Continued support, they have you covered. Time to talk Barton softball with head coach Carson DeBose. So are you like an animal, do you have animals in your home?
Oh, do I?
Okay.
We could talk this whole show about, so.
How do you have it if you're busy?
Oh, wait till I tell you.
Okay, all right, okay.
3 St. Bernards.
Okay, you want to know the first question that comes to my mind? Why? Landon even wanted to know about that one.
Yeah. Mom brought the first one home whenever I was 7. I've had them my entire life. They are the best dogs in the world.
So the 3 St. Bernards came home when you were 7 years old?
No.
Oh, the first one did?
The first one did, yeah.
Okay.
I had one in high school, and then whenever I was still playing college ball, I got Nala. She's 8. She now lives here with me. Then we adopted her little sister, Rue,
Little sister.
And we recently adopted Rue's litter mate. So he's 4. His name's Winston, 160 pounds.
What are you guys? These things are as big as horses. I mean, what?
Yeah. Oh, they're all 3 bigger than I am.
So, okay. St. Bernards.
Yep.
Do they have a little barrel around their?
So when I got them, they did.
They did
when they were puppies.
The little barrel thing that was that they used. So
mine are useless. Let me tell you. I tell them, I'm like, you were made to rescue people, and.
Okay, this is Sports Day, and anyone who's listening, somebody when I got off topic, it may take us someplace where you never expected it to. So, tell me about your backyard.
There's landmines everywhere.
That's what I was. Okay, all right. I just wanted because. Okay.
Yep. Most people's first question is what my dog food bill is.
That would be the second one, but I'm going from the different end of it back to the front. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so what do they eat?
Everything.
Okay, all right, okay. Like, do you go down and get like the 100-pound bag of dog food?
Oh no, I've gotten to the point where I just order it. It's on auto ship, so it is shipped to our front door.
Okay. What's the lifespan of those? It's not as long, is it?
No, we've lost one at 3 from genetic issues, and then Bella, the one Mom brought home whenever I was 7, lived until I was in college. She was 13, 14.
Okay, all right. That's pretty good for a big dog like that. Okay.
Yeah, but when you live in the DeBose household, you're royalty.
Okay, there you go. Carson DeBose owns 3 St. Bernards.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Those are my kids.
Don't try to get it. Now, what if someone came in your house?
Let me tell you right now, they would not hurt a fly, but if you're brave enough to open that door when you hear the bark out of them, good for you, I guess.
Okay, large animals and more here on Sports Day. Carson DeBose is in with us, and you have your team sitting in pretty good shape right now. In fact, it got a little bit better yesterday as Butler and Hutchinson split a doubleheader. Butler beat Hutch 8-6 in the first game. Hutch did win the second game 9-7. It's got to be pretty exciting right now. You're 1 game back here as we head down the stretch. This is going to be fun April softball.
Oh, yeah. It's getting crazy. I was watching the game, the Butler-Hutch game in the office, and the kids ran in and were watching it with me. And, I keep reminding them we just have to take care of our business.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't watch this, get excited, and then drop a game. So I'm just reminding them to stay locked in and ready.
Okay, you're coming off a pretty good Sunday, as I always tell Brent Biggs, and you're baseball coach, softball coach, you're also a meteorologist.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're looking at the weather patterns and deciding when to, and this is, so you don't play Saturday, good move, okay?
Saturday's practice we were inside, but it was freezing out.
Sunday, gorgeous day. You go out and knock off Garden City by the score of 12-1 and 7-1. Garden is sitting right now they're tied for 4th with Dodge City, the team you see tomorrow. But it's kind of weird. Okay, tell me about it, because you hit 5 home runs. You win 12-1, 7-1, yet there's not happiness, complete happiness, and euphoria around the team right now?
They were excited. Obviously, we celebrate the little things, even just getting outs, getting hits. We want to be excited about all of those things. But even the girls recognize that we're not where we need to be, especially from an offensive standpoint. And again, that sounds insane. We hit 5 home runs. I don't know how many doubles. They made really good adjustments, but I think they're finally starting to see their potential, which is this is the right time for that. So it makes me excited, but I also hope they don't get in their heads in any way, because we're still getting things done.
So is that not, just trying for too many home runs, or just not executing, or just some of the little things?
The little things, what we call wasted at bats. Again, they're making those adjustments. There is no way that everybody is going to go 4 for 4. That's just, we play a game of failure. But they recognize that they could be, a little bit more efficient in not wasting at bats. And by that, striking out with a runner at second or, not getting a sack bunt down and things like that.
Well, Elena Bartlett might think, what's wrong with going 4 for 4, she
can just keep doing what she's doing.
What have you seen from her this year? She's pretty good last year as a freshman, but how has she ramped up her game this year as a sophomore?
I think that last year she was just so focused on, I got to hit the ball. This year, she's had a better eye at the plate. She's looking for pitches that she knows she can absolutely demolish, and you can see that that's what she's been doing.
Is she very good with talking to media or other people? I'm just because her pop was just a little cub when I was at Hayes a long time ago and doing this little TV thing out there. Then he went to Wichita. He was really, really good as a TV news anchor. Jared Bartlett.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. He was good, and then he went into a different career and stuff like that. But I figured she'd probably be like a media mogul.
Oh, I'm telling you, she's so quiet, keeps to herself. She's funny as can be, but just real quiet, soft-spoken until you put a bat in her hand, and then it's you better watch out.
Next time you see Jared, he's at the, just go up and call him big time. Okay.
I'm sure he'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, okay.
I will.
Yeah, just call him big time. Okay,
perfect.
And he'll probably know what you're talking about. Okay. Head to Dodge City tomorrow. And thoughts on taking on this Dodge City team? Like I said, they're kind of in the middle of the pack with Garden City right now.
They have made huge strides even from last year, and I just keep reminding the girls, you cannot take anyone lightly, including them. Mm-hmm. And I think the girls know that from the last time we played them. We beat them, but again, it wasn't like we wanted. So I just hope the girls stay locked in, ready, because we cannot take anyone lightly. Anybody can win on any given day. And so...
What's their pitching staff like?
They have a handful of different ones. You never know what you're going to get because they have, I think, at least 5 or 6 pitchers.
Really?
Over there. So I'm curious to see what they throw at us.
Okay. See what's out there. Okay, and then you get a weekend off.
Weird. But I can tell you...
Are you going to make him stay in practice, or is it...
Well, I'll just tell you, it depends on how tomorrow goes.
Okay. There's that motivation right there.
But I can tell you, I'm sure you've seen, we're a little banged up right now.
Yep.
Got some injuries, some nagging things. This bye weekend kind of came at a good time. So my hope is that we take care of business tomorrow, and then I'll be able to give them a couple days, and then we'll practice a couple days before our non-conference on Tuesday.
Yeah, let me look here. I have that up here to tell you that. Okay, so here's the schedule. You get Dodge City, then you're off until Monday and Southeast Nebraska.
Okay, it is Monday.
Okay, and then you come back against Pratt. Poor Fort Hays Tech. They gave up 40 runs yesterday.
Yeah. Their situation's a little different too. That coach took over at semester, and he is just trying to keep his head above water, keep those kids healthy, and motivated, which is hard to do. And but
man, that's tough. 40-4.
Yeah.
Okay, so you look down the schedule. I'm looking right now. So how do you keep you guys focused? Because looming out there on the 23rd and 26th are 4 games against Butler and Hutch to close the season.
And let me tell you, I have no say in that conference schedule. It is given to us.
That's a little juice, though, going. That's something to look forward to.
Oh, yeah.
Keep taking care of business. So you're in
the
position.
Girls are super excited, and we'll celebrate our sophomores on that Saturday against Hutch with all our friends and family there on our home field. And so sophomores are excited. But
okay, your hometown of Wausau, right?
Yes.
Oklahoma, just north of Tulsa, and I'm very familiar with the Tulsa area. I'm not going to tell people I was hanging around down there for 2 years, going in and out and everything. So one thing that my wife Deb and me are watching right now is Tulsa King. Did you know that while you went to high school, there was organized crime in Tulsa?
No.
Well, I don't think there probably is now, but
you never know.
And you haven't watched it yet.
Not yet.
Wow.
Is it all out yet, or are they still releasing?
Oh yeah, it's like the second season now. It's getting pretty good. So then they show different areas around the Tulsa.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. It's that big Tulsa, that big oil man. Yeah, the driller. The driller. He's in there quite a bit too. Check it out. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Animals TV and Barton softball with Carson DeBose today. Coach, I hope you have a good game tomorrow. 2 games at Dodge City, and then that means you get the weekend off because you played really, really well.
I hope so.
Okay. Tulsa King. Check it out. Stream it right now. This is Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
The Easter Bunny?
Really? Where?
Just kidding. But I made you look.
Mima, what does this have to do with garage doors?
Well, nothing really, but people will be happy they came to C&E Doors. We offer the best garage doors around. Plus, our service technicians can help solve any issue your garage door may have.
What does Papa do?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
When it comes to car maintenance, it's good to know a local guy that can get things done. The Eller family has been in the auto repair business in Great Bend forever. Greg Eller continues that long tradition of helping people. Eller Automotive Repair specializes in wheel alignments, oil changes, and general maintenance for all makes and models of cars and small trucks. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4 Fridays. Eller Automotive Repair at 915 Morton, right behind Great Bend Appliance, Furniture, and Sleep Source, 10th and Morton.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powson, president of your local equity bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. Our show brought to you by the Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Athletic Department the best in the country, and by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Great Bend Lady Panthers taking on Liberal in Western Athletic Conference play today. They call it, going down on through Dodge City. I know that it's right along the Santa Fe Trail, but it's really should be known as the Western Athletic Conference Trail because that's a route that Panther athletes take all the time, heading west and southwest. And today, Carrie Minton joins us, riding shotgun on the Panther Express. So almost.
Not quite shotgun, but yeah.
So Montezuma area, yeah, you're gonna be getting down to see the windmills and everything like that. It's an educational trip.
It is if you're awake. Most of the girls aren't awake, but yes, it can be.
Liberal today, 1 game, and then you turn around, and then you'll be here on Thursday for a doubleheader out at the Great Bend Sports Complex. Carrie Minton joining us now from the bus en route. Carrie, you have your team off to a 7-1 start, and really going back to last Friday, boy, a couple good games down at Pratt, and pretty good resilience by your team because Pratt just wouldn't give up. And on a cold, damp night, your team came away with a couple wins and showed some grittiness, I thought, in that doubleheader.
They absolutely did. It was, as you mentioned, we got off to a really hot start. Our bats kind of calmed down just a little bit. And but as you mentioned, Pratt put up a tough fight, and our girls just continued to battle and came out on top, which was really good to see. A little bit of adversity, but it was good for them.
Well, you're 8 games in to the season, so what have you seen so far? A lot of expectations for this team, obviously, but what have you seen from your ball club so far in the first 8?
Yeah, we have. We've been really happy with how well the girls have been hitting the ball, and it seems what's interesting is the teams that we're playing. We even had a couple of umpires. I mean, our girls are just from top to bottom on our lineup. They're just doing a great job of putting the ball in play, and that's been really impressive. we've faced some really good teams. McPherson, Pratt, as you mentioned, Hutch has, with a lineup that's pretty good. And so, for our girls to step in there, no matter where we're at, when we start an inning, we know that we should be getting girls on base and moving them around, and that's been really exciting.
You have a bat back in your lineup that, she didn't get to play basketball, Denver Ringo, and how's she been able to perform and coming back and having confidence in that knee and just being able to contribute? Because I know she loves softball a lot.
She does, and it's been a lot of fun. She kind of eased into things at the very beginning. She didn't have a full release to actually compete, but she was allowed to start out with us at the beginning of the season with some drills and used her way back in, as you mentioned, and then she was released right before we went to our jamboree. And that, we hadn't done a jamboree up until this year, and that was probably one of the best things for us, and specifically for Denver, was just to get out on the field in the situation. It was a competitive situation that gave her an opportunity, to be live and kind of get back into that comfort zone. So having her back out on the field for us as an anchor over at third has been, great for us as a team. We were trying to put together a puzzle that we weren't sure how it was going to work if we didn't have her back, and so having her back has been great for us. It's a lot of confidence, and for her, she's been doing a great job.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know 8 games in, but you're hitting 466 as a team. You have 8 players that are hitting over 500. That's tell me about Cameron Kelch. She's had a nice year, isn't she?
Yeah, Cameron's been good. She has done a great job since the day she stepped on the field with us in the Panther uniform. She's worked hard in the summers. She continues to work throughout the school year. And, last year she struggled a little bit at the plate, which was kind of crazy. It was frustrating for her because we didn't practice with super speaking, and she just did a tremendous job. And then, she did in their games, and, I think she fouled off more balls on the baseline. It was kind of crazy. She was just so far ahead of the ball. And this year she's settled down a little bit, and was doing a great job right in the middle of our lineup, and I'm really happy for her.
That must be fun to make out the lineup card. If somebody's hitting like 420, you say, well, okay, they're slumping a little bit right now. It's got to be fun putting that lineup together, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. That's what we joke about. It's not really a joke, but you're like, gosh, you could move some kids around, this and that. But when we got to this point where we tweaked it a little bit at the beginning, and it seems to have worked, and so you hate to mess with a good thing. And like you mentioned, having 8 kids hitting over 500, yes. 6 of them, I think, have more than 26 plate appearances, and they're hitting over 500, which we were just, it's one of those, we see it, we try not to talk about it too much, but it's pretty impressive.
I would say so. Okay, but boy, softball, especially when you get into postseason play and hopefully to a 5A state tournament, you're going to run into some good pitching. You need to have that good pitching as well. How has your staff been so far this season?
Yeah, it's been, we are very fortunate. We have a good core group of pitchers, and that's been the case for the last several years. But we have Alyssa McCauley, who we kind of have thrown in there in a little bit of just a reserve shot. She does a great job for us. She threw the first 3-4 innings the other night against Pratt, and just to kind of save our other pitchers, and she's done great. Braylon Turner comes in, and she has, done a good job of moving the ball around, and she works really hard. And then you've got Shayla, who we can bring in, who has a little bit more speed to it and be a little bit more overpowering. And we have confidence that, we have a lot of different ways that we can approach ball games with those young ladies, and so we're pretty fortunate.
Talking about Shayla, she's just such a nice girl. Tell me about that. Tell me about if you're 6'1" or whatever, and you're out there on the mound, and talk about her competitive side.
she's super competitive. She works extremely hard, and it doesn't. I don't know that anybody could ever really yell at her because she just looks at you and smiles, and you tell her something, and she shakes her head, yes, coach, and she wants to win, and she's going to work hard, and she wants to do what's best for our team, and that's, you couldn't ask for anything more.
Well, you've been kind of this is going to be fun. The kids looking forward to coming back for 2 games at the sports complex on Thursday?
Yeah, it'll be nice to be home again. It seems like, we've been on the road a lot, and last year we played at home quite a bit, and our schedule flips a little bit this year, so we're not at home quite as much, but it'll be nice to be back out there Thursday. Have a lot of people that are excited to come out and watch and support these young ladies, because they do put on a good show.
Have fun today, okay? And just remember, as soon as the game's over with, you climb on that bus, it's 3 hours, no matter what. You can drive the bus backwards, it's 3 hours. But drive safe. We'll see you Thursday, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, Carrie Minton, head coach of the Great Bend Lady Panthers. They take on Liberal today. Back with more Sports Day after this.
Jumpstart your education with Barton Online. You can pick up a class or earn an associate degree for less than half the cost of a university. We are always enrolling. Start when it works for you. Choose from 5 sessions throughout the semester, including 16, 8, and 4-week options. Save big on the way toward your career or tackle your gen eds with our low-cost pathway. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
Hey folks, it's Dr. Ty here at Animal Medical Center, and we're going to start talking about all things nutrition and why nutrition is so important. We all know that high quality and well-balanced nutrition can eliminate a lot of diseases, including obesity, heart disease, kidney disease, even allergies, dental disease, and many other things. We are supporters of Science Diet dog food. Science Diet is one of the most nutritious, well-researched, and well-balanced foods on the planet, and we use it to help prevent a lot of diseases. Ask us how we can help your animal on the nutrition side of things. Dr. Ty at Animal Medical Center, large or small, we take care of them all.
Now, in its second decade, it's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
Good stuff from the shotgun on the Panther Express going down to Liberal. Appreciate Carrie Minton being on the show today. Also Carson DeBose and Cole Wright for stopping by. Programming note, we'll have no show on Thursday because the Royals are playing. And no show tomorrow. I don't need to go into that, but yeah. But we will be back on Friday, okay? Friday. And remember, the Great Bend Panther baseball team plays at Liberal. Imagine that, I gave you wrong information. But, so that's going to be a Friday doubleheader, so we won't be able to talk to Randy Beck this week. But we'll line up some other things. Track and field with Mike Corson coming up on Friday. And, let's see. Yeah. It'll be Friday, so we'll talk softball and baseball with Sunflower Solutions, Connor Nickel. Okay, talk to you Friday. Have a great day, everybody.